So let's switch to, because that was the kind of social network question. Let's switch to where are the most positive examples we can learn from around the world? Now, we've talked about Singapore and the sovereign wealth funds, also Norway, other places, as places where you essentially get predisposition ownership. Are there any particular examples on like the positive nationalism that you would think? And is it Canada was the primary one that you would use there?
Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle is a name that we haven't heard in a long time.
Yes. Except if you land in Paris, but yes.
Yeah, unless you land at the airport. But de Gaulle was known as a nationalist, right? Who didn't want to be in NATO and wanted European integration, but not too much. Who always argued that, a little bit like I said, allegiance to inclusive values. He argued that France was a certain idea of France. It wasn't about blood or ethnicity. It was it was France's destiny in the world. So, if nationalism is not based on like Putin's nationalism, your Russian blood, or I would say Chinese nationalism vis-a-vis its minorities. You're not Han Chinese. That's a problem. So I think the kind of de Gaulle nationalism that was a positive nationalism. Yeah, and I think
anything any society today for that?
Well, I do think sure. I do think Canada. I think the idea of the European Union, obviously, for the reason I was talking about open borders, open size defined borders. There's issues in Europe, obviously, with immigration, but the European project is an example of that.